Chapter 1. The Betrayal. The sky burned crimson. Thousands of monsters surrounded the ruined city. Explosions shook the ground as humanity launched its final attack against the Monster King. For 3 years, Luna Hart had fought for this moment. 3 years of blood. 3 years of loss. 3 years of surviving a world that no longer belonged to humans. She stood atop the city wall, her armor stained with monster blood. In her hand were 5 glowing evolution crystals, the rarest treasures in existence. Crystals powerful enough to turn ordinary survivors into legends. Luna looked at the people standing beside her. Daniel, her boyfriend, the man she had loved since before the apocalypse. And Mia, her best friend, the person she trusted more than anyone. "We finally made it," Daniel said. Luna smiled weakly. "We're almost done." The 3 of them had survived impossible battles together, or at least that was what Luna believed. Without hesitation, she handed the crystals over. "Take them." Daniel looked surprised. "What about you?" "I'll be fine," Mia laughed. "You're always helping everyone else." Luna smiled. That was who she was. A protector, a survivor, a fool. The moment the crystals touched Daniel's hand, everything changed. Pain exploded through Luna's body. Her eyes widened. She looked down. A blade protruded from her chest. Blood dripped onto the broken concrete. For a second, her mind refused to understand. Slowly, she turned around. Daniel stood behind her, holding the knife, her knife, the one she had given him years ago. "What?" Daniel pulled the blade free. Luna collapsed to her knees. Mia stepped forward. The smile on her face was gone. Cold, cruel, unfamiliar. "You really are too trusting." Luna stared at them, unable to believe what she was hearing. "Why?" Daniel looked at the glowing crystals. "Because we're tired of living in your shadow." "What?" "You were always stronger, always more important, always the hero." Mia crossed her arms. "And heroes don't survive the apocalypse." Luna felt her heart breaking more than her body. These were the people she had sacrificed everything for, the people she had protected, the people she loved. And they were killing her, for power, for jealousy, for greed. Daniel picked up the crystals. "Thanks for collecting these for us." Mia laughed. "It saved us a lot of work." Luna tried to stand, tried to fight, but her strength was fading. The wound was fatal. Around them, monsters continued roaring in the distance. The final battle had already begun, and humanity's strongest survivor was dying before it even started. Daniel turned away. "Let's go." Mia nodded. Neither of them looked back. Neither of them cared. Luna lay on the ruined ground as tears mixed with blood. So this was how it ended. Not by monsters, not by the apocalypse, but by betrayal. Her vision slowly darkened. The sounds of battle faded. The world became silent. Then, a strange blue screen appeared before her, something she had never seen before. Rebirth system activated. Luna blinked weakly. "What?" The screen flickered. "Host has met all requirements. Activating final reward. Rewinding timeline." Luna's eyes widened. The darkness disappeared. The pain vanished. The ruined city dissolved into light. Everything around her shattered like glass. Then, silence. Luna gasped. Sunlight shone through a classroom window. Birds chirped outside. Students chatted around her. No monsters. No blood. No apocalypse. Her hands trembled. Slowly, she looked at the date written on the classroom board. Her heart nearly stopped. 3 years earlier, 1 month before the end of the world, 1 month before the apocalypse began. Luna stared at the bright blue sky outside. Then a smile slowly appeared on her face. A dangerous smile, because this time, she remembered everything. And this time, Daniel and Mia would never get the chance to betray her again. Chapter 2. Preparing for the End. Luna sat in her classroom, pretending to listen to the teacher. Around her, students chatted and laughed. Nobody knew the truth. In exactly 1 month, the world would end. The sky would crack open. Monsters would invade. Millions would die. And yet everyone carried on as if tomorrow was guaranteed. Luna smiled bitterly. Not this time. When the final bell rang, she immediately left school. Her first destination was an abandoned warehouse on the edge of the city. In her previous life, she had discovered a hidden treasure there 6 months after the apocalypse began. A powerful weapon called the Shadow Blade. Back then, thousands of survivors had fought and died trying to claim it. This time, Luna arrived first. Inside the warehouse, she found a black chest hidden beneath broken crates. Her heart pounded. Slowly she opened it. The shadow blade, exactly where she remembered. The moment her fingers touched the weapon, a blue screen appeared. Legendary item acquired. Shadow blade. Attack power plus 100. Luna smiled. The apocalypse hadn't even started, yet she was already becoming stronger. Over the next few weeks, Luna traveled across the city. She collected hidden treasures, stored food and medicine, purchased supplies, and secretly prepared for the coming disaster. Meanwhile, Daniel kept trying to contact her. Calls, messages, apologies. In her first life, she would have answered immediately. This time she blocked him. Forever. One afternoon, Luna received a message from Mia. Want to meet for coffee? Luna stared at the screen. The same person who would one day laugh while she bled to death. Without hesitation, she deleted the message. Some people deserved second chances. Mia wasn't one of them. As the days passed, Luna grew stronger. Faster, smarter, prepared. Then one night she looked up at the sky and froze. A tiny crimson crack had appeared among the stars. Nobody else noticed, but Luna knew exactly what it meant. The countdown had begun. The apocalypse was almost here, and this time, she would be ready. Chapter 3. The Apocalypse Begins. 1 month later, the world changed forever. Luna stood on the roof of an office building and looked up at the sky. The crimson crack had grown larger every day. Now it stretched across the clouds like a giant wound. People below stopped walking. Cars stopped moving. Everyone stared upward. Then the sky shattered. A deafening roar echoed across the world. Thousands of red portals opened above every city. Screams filled the streets. The apocalypse had begun. Monsters poured from the portals. Winged beasts, giant wolves, creatures made of shadows. Within minutes, entire buildings collapsed. Panic spread everywhere. But Luna didn't panic, because she already knew what would happen. She immediately rushed toward the first portal zone. In her previous life, hundreds had died there. This time would be different. A giant horned monster landed in the middle of the street. People ran in terror. The creature raised its claws. Before it could attack, a black blade flashed through the air. The shadow blade. The monster's head hit the ground. Everyone froze. They stared at Luna in disbelief. She had killed it with a single strike. A blue screen appeared. Level up. Level 5 reached. The apocalypse had only been active for 10 minutes, yet Luna was already becoming stronger. Over the next few days, she moved from city to city, saving survivors, claiming treasures, clearing portals. Her name spread rapidly. People called her the Crimson Hunter, the woman who always appeared before disaster struck, the woman who seemed to know the future. Meanwhile, Daniel and Mia were struggling. Without Luna protecting them, survival became much harder. They barely escaped several monster attacks. For the first time, they realized how much they had depended on her. One evening, Luna watched a news broadcast from a survivor shelter. The reporter spoke with fear. Humanity has entered a new era. Outside the window, fires burned across the city. Monsters roamed the streets. Civilization was collapsing. But Luna wasn't afraid, because she had survived this once before. And this time, she would become strong enough to change everything. As she looked toward the horizon, another portal suddenly opened. Unlike the others, this one was enormous, far larger than anything from her previous life. Luna's smile disappeared. Something had changed. And whatever was coming, even she hadn't seen it before. Chapter 4. The Return of the Betrayers. 6 months after the apocalypse began, Luna's survivor base had become one of the safest places in the region. High walls surrounded the settlement. Armed guards protected the gates. Thousands of survivors called it home. Luna had become a legend. The Crimson Hunter, the strongest survivor anyone had ever seen. One morning, a guard rushed into the command center. "Luna, we found 2 survivors outside the gate." Luna looked up. "Who?" The guard hesitated. "Daniel and Mia." The room fell silent. Luna slowly stood. After 6 months, they had finally appeared. Outside the gate, Daniel and Mia looked exhausted. Their clothes were torn. Their faces were covered in dirt. Nothing like the confident traders Luna remembered. The moment they saw her, relief filled their eyes. "Luna!" Daniel shouted. "We finally found you." Mia forced a smile. "We've been searching for months." Luna stared at them without emotion. In her previous life, these were the people she trusted most. The people who murdered her. Now they looked weak, desperate, pathetic. Daniel stepped closer. "We want to join your base." Luna almost laughed. Join? After everything? But she remained calm. Why should I help you? Daniel froze. The question clearly surprised him, because in his mind, Luna was still the same person. The girl who would always forgive him, the girl who would always save him. But that girl was gone. That night, Luna allowed them to stay temporarily. Not because she trusted them, because she wanted to watch them. A few days later, disaster struck. A massive monster horde attacked the settlement. Thousands of creatures charged toward the walls. The battle began immediately. Luna led the defense. Her shadow blade cut through monsters like lightning. Survivors cheered as she fought. Daniel watched in shock. He had never seen her this powerful. Mia looked equally stunned. For the first time, they realized how much Luna had changed. During the battle, a giant beast broke through part of the wall. It rushed directly toward Daniel and Mia. They screamed for help. "Luna! Please save us!" Luna looked at them. For a moment, she remembered another battlefield. Another betrayal. Another knife in her back. Then she turned away. Instead, she saved a group of children trapped nearby. The beast nearly reached Daniel and Mia before other fighters stopped it. After the battle ended, Daniel confronted her. "You could have saved us." Luna looked directly into his eyes. "Just like you saved me?" Daniel's face turned pale. For a second, fear flashed across his expression, as if he sensed she knew something. But before he could speak, Luna walked away, leaving Daniel and Mia standing in silence, because for the first time, they realized Luna was no longer someone they could control. Chapter 5, Queen of the Apocalypse. 1 year after the apocalypse began, humanity stood on the edge of extinction. The largest portal ever recorded had opened above the ruined capital. From it emerged the Monster King, a creature over 100 meters tall. Its body was covered in black armor-like scales. Its eyes burned like crimson suns. Every survivor knew the truth. If the Monster King won, humanity would disappear forever. Thousands of fighters gathered outside the capital. Luna stood at the front. The shadow blade glowed in her hand. The people behind her looked at her with hope, with faith, with trust. In her first life, nobody had stood beside her. This time was different. "Luna," a voice called from behind. Daniel. Beside him stood Mia, the two people who had betrayed her, the two people who had murdered her in her previous life. They looked ashamed, broken, defeated. Daniel lowered his head. "We were wrong." Mia wiped away tears. "We don't deserve forgiveness." Luna looked at them silently. Then she turned away. "You're right." Their faces froze. Luna walked forward, leaving the past behind, because revenge was no longer important. Saving humanity was. The battle began. The Monster King roared. Entire buildings collapsed. Thousands of monsters charged across the battlefield. The sky itself seemed to tremble. Luna leaped into battle. Her shadow blade cut through monsters like lightning. Blue system screens appeared endlessly. Level up. Skill unlocked. Legendary evolution achieved. Power surged through her body. The strongest survivor in the world had finally reached her peak. But even then, the Monster King was overwhelming. One strike destroyed entire city blocks. One roar killed hundreds of monsters and humans alike. The battle seemed hopeless. Until Luna remembered something. A weakness, a secret she had learned in her previous life. The Monster King's core, hidden inside its chest, the source of its power, the source of everything. Luna smiled. Then she charged. The Monster King swung its massive claws. Luna dodged. Explosions erupted around her. The ground shattered. The sky burned red. Yet she kept moving. Closer, closer, closer. Finally, she reached the creature's chest. The shadow blade glowed brighter than ever before. Humanity wins. She thrust the blade forward. The world exploded with light. A deafening scream echoed across the battlefield. The Monster King's core shattered. For several seconds, nobody moved. Then the giant creature collapsed. The Monster King was dead. Silence filled the world. Then cheers erupted everywhere. Humanity had survived. The apocalypse was over. Months later, cities slowly began rebuilding. Life returned. Children laughed again. Families reunited. Hope returned to the world. On a sunny morning, Luna stood atop a rebuilt tower overlooking the city. People below called her many names. The Savior, the Crimson Hunter, the Queen of the Apocalypse. Daniel and Mia eventually left the city. Neither could bear the guilt of what they had done. Luna never chased them, never punished them. Their regret was punishment enough. As the sun rose over the new world, Luna smiled. In her first life, she died betrayed and alone. In this life, she saved humanity, and finally found